Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome. Thanks to everyone for being here for the early shift on a Saturday morning. My name is Adam Marcus. I'm a member of the ACADIA Board of Directors, and we're going to kick off this morning with the awarding of the 2017 ACADIA Innovative Academic Program Award of Excellence. This award recognizes an innovative academic program that contributes to the education of students in the field of digital design. Previous recipients of this award include CETA at the Royal Danish Academy, the ICD at University of Stuttgart, the Columbia Building Intelligence Project, CASE at RPI, and both the MTech and DRL programs at the Architectural Association in London. Today, it's my great pleasure to introduce this year's recipient of the Innovative Academic Program Award, the B-Pro program at the Bartlett School of Architecture. B-Pro, or Bartlett Perspective, is a family of 3 advanced postgraduate courses at the world-leading Bartlett, which share a unique approach to the future of design, architecture, and the urban environment. The 3 degree programs include an MArch in Architectural Design, MArch in Urban Design, and a Master of Science, Master of Research in Architectural Computation. B-Pro was founded by Professor Frédéric Migarou, chair of the Bartlett School of Architecture, who heads the program together with Deputy Director Andrew Porter. In its citation, the ACADIA Awards Committee recognizes the B-Pro program as a center for speculative research in areas including AI, robotics, advanced fabrication, and additive manufacturing. In particular, we thought it important to recognize that the program's leadership and structure has provided a platform for cultivating emerging faculty, really giving them the space and leeway to develop experimental, critical, and innovative pedagogies that offer new and important models for integrating computation into architectural design. So here, on behalf of Professor Migarou, to accept this year's ACADIA Innovative Academic Program Award is Jill Retzin and Manuel Jimenez Garcia of the Bartlett. So please welcome them.
Thank you for the introduction. So it's very important we're here really on behalf of 230 students and over 30 design faculty, and on behalf of Frédéric Migarou, who's the director and founder of B-Pro. So my name is Jill Retzin. I'm the program director of the AD program in B-Pro, the MArch Architectural Design.
My name is Manuel Jimenez, and I'm the program director of the Architectural Computation.
So we thought it was a good idea to start off this presentation by actually explaining what B-Pro is, because there has been a bit of confusion about the Bartlett. Like the Bartlett got the prize, but what is B-Pro? So B-Pro really is an umbrella of post-professional master's courses at the Bartlett. They're 12-month programs, so they continue through the summer. And they're meant for students who already have an architectural degree and want to either continue really in design or in a more research direction. And there is 3 programs, so there's 2 MArch programs, the AD program and the UD program, so Architectural Design and Urban Design. And in between there sits the MSc program, the Architectural Computation program, which has more an emphasis on a kind of scientific approach to architectural computation. And these programs are in themselves composed of something we call a research cluster. So a research cluster is directed usually by 2 to 3 designers and sets their own agendas within the kind of larger umbrella of the master's program. So this is the official structure, like that's how it works. So again, these 3 programs together have over 230 students, which we think is probably one of the largest design research programs, at least in Europe. So what you see here is just a video of a walkthrough or show in the Bartlett in the new building. And the idea, like the kind of agenda that these programs share is a progressive attitude to technology. So architectural design really looks at advanced experimental research in computational design and fabrication. Urban design explores critical approaches to the city, defining creative strategies for cities and communities. And architectural computation engages really with the technology itself to speculate about how tomorrow's architecture will be designed and constructed. And there is really an engagement with the latest technologies, robotics, AI, 3D printing, supercomputing, simulation, biotechnologies, material sciences. And the program was founded in 2011, so 6 years ago, by Professor Frédéric Migayrou, which you may know from his French curator and the deputy director of the Centre Pompidou in Paris. And he staged a few exhibitions which were very important for this community and for the digital, as the seminal Architecture Non-Standard exhibition in the Pompidou, but also the Archilab exhibitions at the FRAC in Orléans. And it's also important to mention that a lot of these exhibitions generated, in a way, commissions for a community of people, like, for example, Benjamin Dillenberger's grotto pieces were commissioned in the framework of those exhibitions. And over the past few years, there has been a really interesting cross-section of experimental practitioners going through the program. And it's very important here also to mention Alissa Andrasek, whose role I took over this year and who was leading the program since the AD program since the beginning of BPro. Also people who are here in the audience, like Jose Sanchez, if he made it at this moment, or Martha, who's also sitting there. This is just like a partial list of current staff. It's important to note that the average age of this staff is about 32, so it's a very young group of people. And it's interesting to note that there is really kind of an ecosystem that has grown in London around the program, because the program really acts as this kind of platform for very young designers to give them a possibility to do research with students, but then also, in a way, continue their own practice. So we just wanted to highlight a few people there. Like, for example, we have Danielle Widrick, whose work you may know, who's done this 3D printed fashion work with Iris van Herpen, but also runs a design studio. We have people like Claudia Pasquero, who directs Ecologic Studio, which is an architectural practice engaging with biotechnology. We have Sumin Ham, who's also here in the audience, who just founded her own practice kind of on that platform of AD, and who also works on the intersection of developing softwares, fabrication techniques, and architectural projects. Then we also have people who are tutors who are actually working in established offices. So we have quite a few people from Zaha Code who are also here in the workshops. We have Dave Reeves, who you may have met, Tyson, Filippo Nassetti, and a few more who work in Zaha Code and then kind of also run their own research agendas in the BPro program. But then we also have people who are not architects. So, for example, we have Andy Lomas, who comes originally from the arts and the movie industry, who you may know for his work on cellular subdivision, and who's teaching both in the architectural computing program and in the architectural design program. And this multidisciplinary aspect is increasingly getting more important in the BPro. So, for example, this year we have Andy Lomas collaborating with Davide Quaiola, who's a London-based artist, who also looks at new technologies in his work, so like robotics, but also this voxel-based work, which was used to generate these sculptures, for example. And we think that that's a very interesting moment where we bring those people together beyond just a kind of architectural agenda. And then there is also people kind of, again, on that platform coming up with startups. So we have Dagan Cham, who founded AI Build, which is a London-based startup looking at large-scale 3D printing and looking at artificial intelligence as a kind of topic in relation to 3D printing. We also have Manu, who founded Nagami Design, which is a Spanish startup looking at large-scale robotic fabrication. Then we also have people in the program who just develop software. So we have Vicente Soler, who wrote Robots, which is the only open source plugin in Grasshopper for robots. And it's really important that this is also something where we see the program going, is that the program would really start to output more and more software, platforms, plugins that could also be distributed outside of the program. So this is just a quick video of work that has been done with the robots plugin Vicente developed. And then one direction that also we want to really emphasize is discourse. So these are just 3 books which were published either last year or this year, which are related to the BPro program. So with Daniel Köhler, who published The Mereological City. We have an upcoming book by Roberto Bottazzi, who teaches in urban design about digital architecture beyond computers. And then, of course, Mario Carpo's book. Mario is our professor of history and theory at the Bartlett, which was published this week. And this is just a slide to, in a way, show off a little bit where this group of people over the past few years have also exhibited. So we had people in a few well-established museums showing work that, in a way, was created on that platform of the bPro. And also, again, important to mention in this community, like we use the kind of format in the Bartlett of external examiners to really involve a larger community. So some of the people in these pictures, like Philip Block and Sandra, Mark Burry, are people that visit our program on a yearly basis to advise us how to further develop that program. Also, Matthias Del Campo was our external examiner at some point. So it's a way to engage kind of with a larger community and see how the program can continue.
Yeah, so we also have a series of public events related to the program, such as the Bartlett Plexus, which was originally founded by Jose Sanchez, and then I took over 4 years ago. Which is an interdisciplinary lecture series. So we're trying not to hang out only with architects, but also to involve a larger community of people looking into computational design. So as Jill mentioned before, there's a large variety of research clusters and different groups of people with different interests. So this is, for example, the work of RC1 that is currently run by Dagan Cham. And the students are looking into computational methods for, in this case, spatial extrusion. So the students are really engaging with computation, design, and with the latest technologies. And it's a program really to experiment on how these technologies could influence the way we think about design. And they get very dirty. The Bartlett gets very messy after a few months of these programs. And it is a really hands-on program to study. So you see some of the clusters are really looking into different approaches. That is the one that we run together with Vicente Soler, which is looking, in this case, in discrete assembly methods. Video. Okay. And we try to build on our research and our agendas over the years. So you will see consistency in the work in most of the clusters. And sometimes, actually, these projects take off in a professional environment. And sometimes they just keep developing and advancing the methods that we use. So we don't need to use robots for all the programs. I think that was something everyone thought. For example, Daniel Widrick is using a more hands-on approach, so really playing out the possibilities of materials through many different fabrication techniques. Yeah. And we're very excited this year that we are incorporating the architectural computation program into the bPro. And we're really trying to figure out intersections in between this program and the architectural design and architecture and urban design program. So it is for us very exciting time to see the students from a Master in Science who are really focusing on computation to work together and to really create collaborative research with the students that have a more design focus. So this is some of the work that has been done in the program before, and the students are advised by amazing staff such as Marta Sikari, who is in the audience, or Son Hanna, who was leading the program until this year. Yeah, the students are starting very successful careers after they graduate, and it really varies from working in very high-end architectural practices to really create their own practices or engage in academia. And also now we're starting with a new setup for us. We're really learning every day how to use these platforms, such as the labs. So there are 3 labs currently involved in the program, and we are starting to engage with the industry and apply for research grants. We're really looking forward to see what is the development of this research in a more professional environment. The Bartlett is expanding. So as Rory mentioned before, we just got a new campus here east, which is really integrating large-scale fabrication facilities, and we are going to work together with computer science. So we really expect a new step in the research, really getting bigger and more exciting. There's also new programs at the Bartlett. So Rory launched his Design for Performance and Interaction program, and we got new staff such as Jelle Feringa, who is working in the Design for Manufacture program. So it's in total 4 new programs that are working in here at the moment.
Yep. And we just wanted to wrap up this presentation in a way also by kind of launching a kind of a question, because so this program has been running for 6 years, and we're engaged in that field of technological research and robots and everything. But one of the challenges that we find is really how can we also have our students, without taking pressure of the need to really do research and learn coding and program robots, but how can we also have our students start to speculate really about the impact of those technologies on a more critical level? Like, how can we have those students also develop interesting ideas and an understanding of the impact of, for example, automation on labor, on work? How can we have those students also author a discussion that starts to become politicized and that starts to kind of engage with a much larger question? And I just wanted to leave, in a way, also this community with that question. Like, do we think that is something important, that the discussion is not just focused on technological research, but we also start to speculate maybe more about the impact of those technologies in the world, which is increasingly becoming important. So that's in a way also kind of our challenge with the program for the next years. So I believe with this, we're going to leave you. And again, thanks so much on behalf of all the staff and students over the past few years to ACADIA and the ACADIA community for awarding BPRO with the Award for Academic Excellence. Thank you.
Thank you.